Hi, PerspectaWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, October 31st. A very healthy looking upper level low will set off a chain of events that will lead to another significant rain event here in the eastern U.S. during the latter part of the week, probably in the time frame of Thursday night to Friday night along the East Coast. Before we get to that point, some heavy rain will fall in the middle of the country and into the Ohio valleys, Tennessee Valley, and there will be a severe weather threat not only this afternoon but tomorrow afternoon and Friday as well, primarily across the southern U.S. In fact, this is the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today, with an enhanced area across eastern Texas and Louisiana. That's an enhanced severe weather threat. Not all that unusual to kind of get a secondary spurt of severe weather activity in October or even in November. Kind of have the opposite effect in terms of temperature contrast that we do in the springtime. In the springtime, you have warm air advancing north from the Gulf of Mexico and still have cold air entrenched up across Canada. This time of the year, you have some cold air outbreaks advancing south from Canada, but you still have plenty of warm air down across the southern U.S., and the combination of that and a vigorous wave of energy in the upper part of the atmosphere will lead to this severe weather threat today. Again, it translates a little bit to the southeast for tomorrow, and then a little bit more towards the eastern seaboard, at least in the southeast U.S. for Friday. Well, let's take a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly forecast maps from last night's 6Z GFS model run. First of all, high pressure ridging along the eastern seaboard. Today will be noticeably milder in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, way up in the 60s this afternoon, and will touch 70 degrees or even a bit higher than that on Thursday and Friday ahead of this strong cold frontal system. That strong cold front centered out over the Rockies and moving into the center part of the nation today, ushered in some cold air and some accumulating snow for places like the Colorado Rockies, a vigorous wave of energy in the upper part of the atmosphere. Now let's move forward here and see what happens here over the next couple of days. Here by tomorrow morning, deep upper level lows situated over the south central U.S. Again, severe weather threat this afternoon in Texas and Louisiana. That shifts to the lower Tennessee Valley on Thursday. And here we go now into the latter part of the week. Now by Friday morning, notice continuation of deep upper level trough over the central U.S. headed into the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley region. There will be a strong frontal system trying to work its way towards the East Coast. But with these southwesterly winds in the upper part of the atmosphere, that strong front will tend to slow down as it moves into the eastern U.S. during the latter part of the week. That will allow low pressure to ride up and along that frontal boundary zone, enhancing the rainfall in the I-95 corridor in the eastern U.S. During the day on Friday and into Friday night. Well, another interesting feature to look at for the next couple of days, the 250 millibar winds. Where that jet streak lines up over the next few days will help to determine where the severe weather threat is and the potential for some heavy rainfall. Basically looking for areas of upward motion. We talked extensively last week about how a meteorologist looks for areas of upward motion. One of the places to focus in on are jet streaks in the upper part of the atmosphere. There are areas of convergence and divergence depending on which quadrant of the jet streak one is located, and all of that leads to downward motion in some areas and upward motion in other areas. Here we start off the day right now with strong winds here over the Great Lakes, but let's move forward here and see what happens. Vigorous upper level jet streak over the northern U.S., northeastern part of the country, and then by Thursday into Friday, we have real impressive jet streak here setting up here over the eastern U.S. And again, frontal system right along this region right here, stalling out, oriented basically from southwest to northeast. This is Friday afternoon. You can really look at four quadrants with respect to a jet streak here. In fact, let's kind of draw this right here. Draw a line like this, and in this region we have upward motion, and in this region we have upward motion. These two regions favor downward motion here. This is called the left exit region of a jet streak and the right entrance region. This is the area of upward motion that will translate north and east with this jet streak during the day on Friday. And let's move forward here. Notice this very impressive jet streak, upward motion setting up right here. That increases the chance for some heavy rainfall, maybe even some strong thunderstorm activity in the mid-Atlantic region, certainly down across the southeast U.S. Again, on this part of the jet streak, enhanced upward motion, this is increasing the chance, the likelihood for another significant rain event Friday and Friday night. That actually gets underway on Thursday night. Let's keep moving forward here. That jet streak finally gets out of here by later in the day on Saturday. Right now the weekend looking cooler behind the frontal system and relatively dry. Looks like pretty much a rain-free weekend, so we may be setting up for a decent fall-like weekend here after another significant rain event heads to the eastern U.S. Well, let's wrap up by looking at the surface forecast maps from the 6E GFS model run. High pressure in control today in the eastern U.S., noticeably milder than recent days. Again, well up in the 60s in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Let's move forward here. Some rain associated with that jet streak later today and tonight across the interior sections of the northeast U.S. Probably won't make its way into the I-95 corridor. But then here is that setup with some severe weather possibilities down across the south central U.S. Heavy rain possibilities later today and tonight into the overnight hours. And here we are by tomorrow afternoon. That severe weather threat shifts a little bit to the east. Alabama, Georgia later in the day. Heavy rain from the Ohio Valley down across the Tennessee Valley. Let's keep moving forward. Here we go. By the time we get into Friday morning, it almost appears as if we may escape here without some heavy rainfall in the mid-Atlantic region with this low pressure area up across the northeast starting the day on Friday. But notice, remember we looked at that jet streak. That will have a very impressive area of upward motion in this part of the country that translates north and east during the day on Friday. And let's move forward here. Low pressure starts to form along that stalled out frontal boundary zone, and here we go. We have an enhancement of rainfall with low pressure by Friday evening. This very well could lead to heavy rain not only across central Pennsylvania as this model is indicating, but even across the I-95 corridor late in the day Friday night. Maybe a strong thunderstorm or two. It stays warm on Friday in the eastern U.S. High temperatures maybe near 70 degrees in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, just ahead of that strong frontal system. Looks like it gets on out of here by Saturday morning, and it'll be a breezy and chilly day on Saturday and still below normal temperatures on Sunday as well, but generally rain-free conditions expected during the upcoming weekend. By the way, we turn the clocks back late Saturday night, early Sunday morning this upcoming weekend. So another significant rain event headed to the eastern part of the nation, primarily in the period of Thursday night to Friday night. Before this system reaches the eastern seaboard, it'll produce some heavy rainfall and some severe weather from the central part of the nation to the southeastern part of the nation. That's it for now. For PerspectaWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.